MetaGoblin, give me your take on the current meta. Give me the MetaGoblin take on the meta of Season of Discovery.
The success of Season of Discovery has taken the classic WoW community by storm. Many players have returned to play their favourite version of World of Warcraft with some changes. But could it benefit from some more changes? As fun as the game
probably
is, there are definitely some issues. So today I'm going to...
Dude, it makes you realize this is the glyph system from Cataclysm had glyphs, right? The glyph system looks it looks really similar to the rune system we have. That's pretty close, huh?
do my basic job description and give some constructive criticism on the game. There's been a lot of hate towards YouTubers recently, being very critical of the game, which is quite surprising. It's almost as if people have forgotten the purpose of a YouTuber and a video game journalist.
I gotta say, I feel like people have not been super critical of SOD. I think what I've seen is that people are like generally pretty happy with SOD. Of course, there are a couple problems, a couple changes that should be made, right? A couple of things that Blizzard has gotten wrong. But I think people are like generally pretty happy with it.
Apparently, we just moan and we're way too negative. Well, guess what? If the truth is negative, then the video will be negative. It is literally my responsibility and sole job purpose to reveal to consumers the truth. Whether that is negative or positive, that isn't really up to me. And I at least want to encourage people to think more critically about how they spend their money. You don't deserve to have wool pulled over your eyes by corrupt game companies. Trust me, Blizzard do not deserve your blind devotion after everything they have done just because you're enjoying the game. I understand that negativity can be sometimes quite tiresome, but I try to be as positive and balanced as can be possibly achieved in my analysis. And at the end of the day, if you're having fun playing SOD, and you want to stay blissfully ignorant to the problems in the game, then don't watch videos like this. I actually respect that decision, as I apply the same principle when I play games that I don't cover on this channel. But whinging in the comment section and hating on YouTubers for giving some of their opinions on a video game, I mean, it makes you look like a baby. Definitely a baby who was dropped a few times. Even more so when you consider that so many people are pushing the message that because so many people are having fun with SOD...
I just want to know, what are the problems with the game? We can stop... Like, what's the problem? What is the issue here? And by the way, there are issues. That let's hear it.
It shouldn't be critiqued in a negative way, and we should all just spread positive vibes. Look, jump on the bandwagon of sucking Agran semen if you want to. By all means, fill your boots up with semen. I'm not going to partake personally. What's very important to me when I make my videos is revealing the truth and saying what I actually
What is the truth?
I'm not
Tell
going
me
to
the
make
truth.
a bunch of overly positive videos high on copium about SOD just to please the masses and get more views. Now that I've got that out of my system, blame the utterly delusional or moronic takes in the comment section over the past few days, by the way, these are some of the changes Season of Discovery could benefit from.
Now I want to go back and check the comment. Hold up. Before I continue the video, I need to know, like, what is the pretext here? What led up to this? Okay, this is the video we're watching, the essential changes for Season of Discovery. The last video he made was 11 days ago. Former WoW GM exposes how little Blizzard cares about their game. So he interviewed a former WoW GM. It's like 2 hours long, and it's a little interview there. And then the other video before that, one day prior, 10 tricks you should know about SOD. Maybe he made a video in the middle here, and it was negatively received, and he deleted it. Maybe he deleted a video. Maybe not. I don't know. What is he referencing? I'm not sure.
One serious problem in the game right now, if people are really short on time and just want to jump into a BG on their own, what inevitably happens is they go against a 10-man pre-made and get utterly destroyed.
That is
really
true.
It doesn't make sense as to why players should have to suffer this much in Battlegrounds. They should apply...
This is a very, very true and very fair critique of SOD. If SOD is targeted towards casual players, and that's what I've been told 100 million trillion times, is that SOD is targeted towards casual players that only have a couple hours a day to play, then 10-man pre-made stomping should not be part of the meta. Okay? I really, really think that pre-mades should be capped at 5 people. In fact, I think having a dedicated pre-made queue is a really bad idea. That's the solution I hear all the time. Oh, well, just put the pre-mades in their own different queue, and so then it's always pre-made versus pre-made. Serious bad idea. Just cap premades at 5 people. Let people continue to premade. And then what that would mean is that if you're a pug, if you're a solo player, if you're a solo queuer, then the rate at which you would encounter 5-man premades on the opposing team would be the same rate as which you would be paired with 5-man premades on your team. So it still lets people play with their friends, with their guildies in a 5-man premade format, and it's pairing those 5-man premades with solo pug players. So it's a little bit of a give and a take. I think that's a really, really, really good middle ground. That's a great middle ground. Because if there was a dedicated premade queue, first off, we need to understand people don't premade for epic PvP battles. That's not why people premade. People premade because they want to have the best honor and reputation per hour that they possibly can, and premading is the best way to do that, right? And so if you relegate premade queues to a special premade queue where it's always going to be premade versus premade, no one's going to do it because premade versus premade battles are like 30 minutes long. And people are looking for the most optimal rep and XP, or not XP, rep and honor per hour, right? So no, it would be completely dead. No one would do it. And then what it would mean is you would never be able to queue with your guildie or your friend or your girlfriend or your guild master or your whatever. Like you wouldn't be able to queue BGs with your friends anymore because necessarily you would be put into a premade queue. So that sucks. So just cap premades at 5 people and let it rip, and it's all good. That would be totally fine.
Apply the same rules that you get in other competitive games. People solo queuing or duo queuing should be queued with each other. Premades a bit higher, maybe 3 to 5, should go against each other, and then full-on 10v10 premades should only ever go against each other to make the experience, well, less horrible and more balanced.
If you still want to have that epic 10v10 premade versus premade World Song Glitch experience, you can do what? You can do a war game. War games are a function that they added back in 2019 or 2020. It's like a retail function that made it into Classic WoW. All of the PvP premade people, they already know about this. This is an old function. You can war game if you really care about that. Outside of that, for the normal queues, cap it at 5, good to go.
There's definitely enough people playing the game right now that the queues will totally be fine. Yes, 10v10 may struggle a little bit, but at the end of the day, like when we did Rated Battlegrounds back in the day, yes, the queues were a little longer than a basic battleground. Personally,
yeah, but with Rated Battlegrounds, you got something, right? The reason why people want to premade right now is because it gets them something, and what it gets them is the best rates per hour. So if you relegate premades 10v10 to a special queue, they don't get anything out of that, right? The reason why you had 10v10 rated BG premades is because that was the system, because that's how you advanced, and you got good gear, you got conquest points, you got titles, but none of those rewards exist in the game. As such, no one will do it.
I think the bigger the premade, the bigger honor reward to compensate for the longer queues. Otherwise, if the queues are too long, then people just probably won't do them.
People won't do them.
It should be fun, and the honor per hour that you get should be fairly even no matter how you queue for a battleground. Number 2 is a quick one, okay? There should just be instant mail between characters. I don't understand why this isn't in the game. I mean,
This is true. Chat, should there be instant mail in Season of Discovery? Yes or no? For me, that's going to be a yes. There should be.
Come on, Blizzard.
Here we
You
go.
have the power to change
Mostly
this.
yes.
It is just beyond frustrating when I want to send consumes from my bank alt to my main, but I have to do an hour before my raid. Sometimes I'm really busy and I'm just rushing to get home. I need to jump on and get into the raid straight away. Well, I can't even send the consumes. Honestly, that needs to be sorted out. But anyway, moving on. Ashenvale is in a serious need
It sucks.
of a revamp. I guess we will technically get this in the future with the STV PvP event.
Ashenvale is whatever. It sucks. Who cares? This is what I'm frustrated about. They're doubling down on it. They're saying, hey guys, we know how much you all hated the Ashenvale PvP event and how we have blundered this thing for a month and a half now, and when we can't seem to get it right. So we're going to do it in Stranglethorn Vale also. And it's like, huh? Like, you have already fumbled the ball like 6 or 7 times so far in Ashenvale. You keep tweaking it. Every single 3 or 4 days, there's a new like 10 paragraph long blue post that I have to read to understand what the hell's going on. Change after change after change, tweak after tweak after tweak. It's not fun. It's not fun. And now you're saying we're going to do it in Stranglethorn Vale again already. One of the most legendary zones, the most iconic zones. that is known for its world PvP already. Like it's already perfect. STV is already good. It's already awesome. I'm confident in saying that anything they are going to do to STV will make it worse. Do you think they're going to make it better? No, they're going to make it worse. Now, if you want to have a world PvP zone, if you want to do the Ashenvale thing again, do it in Arathi Highlands. Why? First off, no one cares about Arathi Highlands. So if you want to have your experimental PvP sandbox zone similar to Ashenvale, do it in Arathi. It's a big empty zone where not a lot like happens anyway. And then also it makes sense thematically because the new BG we get in the next phase of SOD is Arathi Basin. It makes sense. Do that. Do that.
Well, in my opinion, there's no harm in keeping the Ashenvale event alive and actually relevant into the next phase. I know a lot of people really couldn't give a rat's backside about World PvP.
Dude, you know what would be awesome? You guys remember the South Park episode? The South Park World of Warcraft episode? The Turbo Nerd no-life guy. He's wearing the red helmet and he's shirtless. You can see his bare chest. And he's casting Arcane Explosion. And he summons the Scorpions in Arathi Highlands. Imagine in the next phase, the level 25 to 40 phase, there is a world boss just like roaming around Arathi Highlands, and it's that guy. That guy is a world boss, and he summons scorpions, and he casts Arcane Explosion, and he has the dagger. Dude, that would be awesome. Like, that would be so funny. Yeah, they should do that. That'd be great.
But people
that
like
would be
me
great.
like World PvP, and it's important to have great World PvP situations and environments. I mean, it's quite simple, really, to design a World PvP event. Don't know how Blizzard managed to mess it up so badly. I mean, they could just get rid of the world bosses and have it more like an Eye of the Storm scenario where you're capturing bases in Ashenvale, or a simple defend or attack rotation of a certain base with some PvE enemies thrown into the mix, a little bit like Wintergrasp. Anything would be better than what is currently available to us. Class balance is also a little bit of a problem. I mean, when you compare the balance of Wrath Classic to SOD, the disparity is quite horrendous. It's not a bad thing.
It's not going to be balanced.
There should always be certain classes that are better than others at, different scenarios and different raid bosses, etc., etc. But the gap shouldn't be too extreme. I know it's early days and they're still figuring things out when it comes to class balance, but I just can't help but get the feeling
the gap is pretty bad. And I want to show you just how bad the gap is. I'm going to hammer home a point real fast. Let's look at boss damage, DPS. Okay. Oh, this is Classic Wrath. My bad. Okay, let's go over to SOD. Okay, Black Fathom Deeps, boss damage. We can do, I think it is statistics. Okay, so here you can see. Look at the disparity between DPS rogues and frost mages, or shadow priests, for instance. This is rough. This is rough. Now I want to take a look at something everyone has always talked about: hunter pets and how strong hunter pets are. This is the #1 hunter part. Chat, what do you guys think is the most patchwork style boss in Black Fathom Deeps? Which boss do you think it is? Let me do complete raids. I'm going to pick that one. Maybe we can just talk about Akumai. You think Kelris? Turtle. I think probably not the turtle. I'm gonna do. Let's just pick Akumai here. Okay. So I want to see the #1 hunter. Let's do marksmanship. Okay. So this is the #1 marksmanship hunter on Akumai, and his oh man. Okay. Well, it's I don't speak whatever language this is, so I'm gonna pick this guy. Humongous. Let's talk about Humongous. Okay. So Humongous's pet here. Can I see this here? Okay, just walk away. I want to see the hunter pet specifically. How can I see that here? Pets. I was looking at this the other day. Oh, this is Greenching. We've got the Greench. Let me see here. Okay, let me click on him here. Okay, so this is melee. Mechanical Greench did. Okay, so what I was going to try to show you guys was the pet DPS, but it's kind of getting scuffed by the Mechanical Greench. we can see the Grinch did 42% of the pet DPS, and Just Walk Away, who's the hunter pet, did 44%. So what's 44% of 124? We can kind of we can do this real quick. Okay, so 124 times 0.44. Okay, so his pet is doing 54 DPS, right? Ballpark. I want to keep that number in mind. 54 DPS. I want to compare that to the best Shadow Priest in the world. Okay. Let's do this. Akumai, Shadow Priest, DPS. The number one Shadow Priest in the world on Akumai is this guy Haptics, who did 203 DPS, or yeah, 203. And this is the best priest in the world, bro. So they've actually this guy's Grinching. It's true. Oh my god, dude, the Grinch did 51% of his damage. We need to take the Grinch out of the equation here too. Okay, so this Shadow Priest on his own is doing about 100 DPS because the Grinch is doing half of it. So the best hunter's pet is doing 54 DPS, and the best Shadow Priest is doing about 100 DPS. Hunter pets do about half as much damage as the best priest in the world. Hunter pets are pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna confidently say this. All of the complaints about hunter pets are totally warranted. Hunter pets are too goddamn good. Let's finish the video.
That if you just
They're too
understood basic maths, you wouldn't run into these problems. Casters have definitely got...
Real quick, because I saw the question before I played the video. What is the Grinch? Because of the Christmas, the Winterveil event in World of Warcraft SOD over the last couple weeks, you're able to get, it's a very high level like Christmas pet. I think it's level 58 or something, and people are bringing it into the raid, and it is doing insane damage. They have a level 58 summonable monster that is just deleting things, is what it is.
A short end of the stick, and it's mainly because of spell ranks. These are way more impactful for casters than, for instance, melee ability ranks, because they usually scale off weapon damage. So as long as you're getting better weapons, which obviously you are, Bob's your uncle. I mean, it's not that complicated. They should have just reduced the level requirement for the next rank and rebalanced it for level 25. Because obviously having like level 32 rank spells at level 25 might have been a little bit stupid, but they could just change the amount of damage that it deals at level 25. Also,
there is not a single one of these SOD metas is going to be perfectly balanced. Not level 25, not level 40, not level 50, not level 60. That being said, I still think it is probably worth trying to make some changes here, because the disparity between these classes or these specs is really, really large. So I think you can say, hey, let's just quickly buff Shadow Priest. Hey, let's buff Elemental Shaman. Hey, let's buff Enhancement. Okay, I think that's kind of a no-brainer. Like, let's buff Frost Mage. They seem to be really struggling. They're doing less than half the damage of rogues. All right? Yeah. Let's make some real quick tweaks.
So allowing dots to crit will open the board for more viable builds and better scaling, and other mechanics also to regenerate mana, like for instance how mages in Wrath get mana refunded on crits. The philosophy of game design in SOD was for everyone to feel overpowered, but right now that's only really melee and hunters. Casters shouldn't feel handicapped by the flawed limitations of vanilla class design. I mean, if we wanted that kind of playstyle, we could easily just go and play a classic era. Season of Discovery is supposed to be something new, something different. And lastly, I think there should be more PvP rewards. Right now, it doesn't take long to get over PvP gear. There just isn't that much, so more PvP inclined players will have to do raid content for basically better PvP gear, which is kind of weird. I mean, you should be able to take a route of progression that is purely PvP to get PvP gear. And this PvP gear obviously shouldn't be better than raid gear in raids. It's really not that difficult. Because honestly, once you've got all the PvP gear...
I'm not sure what you could do about this. So right now, at level 25, the ranking meta is such. Farm Honor for 4 hours, and congratulations, now you're rank 3 and you're done ranking, right? Within 1 week, you can be the highest PvP rank, and this is the situation for 2 months. That's how it is for 2 months, right? If they're going to do rank hard caps every phase, like maybe next phase, the highest rank you can go is rank 6, and then maybe the next phase, the highest rank you can go is rank 9 or 10 or something like that, right? If they're going to do hard caps, I would probably add more rewards. I would have more rank 1 rewards, more rank 2 rewards, more rank 3 rewards, and then slow down the ranking. So rather than 1 week and it takes you 4 hours to cap out, and then you're done for 2 months, maybe have ranking take place over the course of 3 weeks. You can effectively get 1 rank per week, and every rank you can get a new piece of gear. I would slow it down, because right now it feels like it does feel very weird just being done. Okay, I'm level 25. I'm going to farm honor for 4 hours, and I'm done. It's not really super epic, right? I would try to put a little bit more into it than that.
Here, by grinding a reputation to honoured and gain sergeant rank, then there isn't really much of a reason to do PvP beyond that, other than to get some better gear later at a later level. But we don't know that that gear can be very easily be replaced by the next Nomagon raid, for instance. I think the game can only benefit by having more reasons to PvP for people who find PvP fun.
I saw the comment here. It's fine, bro. We don't need to spend 8 hours a day on SOD. Just relax with the addition. Well, here's the concern. I'm not advocating for 8 hours a day on SOD. My concern is we are at the point now with SOD, we're 5 weeks in, where people are starting to spend 0 hours per day on SOD because they've got nothing to do. They log in maybe once every 3 or 4 days, they do their raid, and then they have nothing to do. So I'm not saying I want 8 hours of content a day. I'm saying I just don't want 0 hours of content per day, which is kind of where we're at for a lot of people. Unless you're the type of person that just wants to make alts over and over and over and over and over again, and that's where a lot of us are. But if you're just a guy that wants to play 1 or 2 characters, if you've been playing a couple hours a day for the last 5 weeks, like, you're done. You're pretty much chilling, right?
I have some other small gripes, probably because I'm just playing a warlock, but they seriously need to add Mage Table, the Hearthstone Well, and the Summoning Stone. That would be an absolute godsend. As a warlock, you know what? Hey. I'm not going to complain if they do that. I'm not going to, like, pioneer that or champion that movement, but I'm not going to complain if they do decide to do that. Because having to summon people,
they can do that. That's okay.
Stones individually is, well, I'd rather, like, take a crap in my hands and clap, to be honest. Anyway, guys, if this video is released before Christmas, I hope you guys have a great Christmas. My name is MetaGoblin. Until my next video, ciao.
Ciao. Thank you, MetaGoblin. That was a good video. Okay, let me upvote that. Let me link it out. I want to take a look at some of the comments here. He must have had some video in the past that was, like, getting people really salty. For all its flaws, this has been the most entertaining version of WoW I've played since vanilla. SOD, I think, has been received very well. I think it has. I really wish we had an Ironforge Pro sort of, like, population census for SOD. I don't think that there's a website that is tracking that. I don't think so. I really wish there was. It would be super curious to see how many. Oh, do we? Well, I haven't seen it, at least. Maybe we can talk about that later. No dot crits. That's something they might need to do later on. Maybe not yet, but they might need to make certain, maybe not all dots crit, but you might have a rune that would, like, make corruption crit or something like that. Anyway, great video. Okay, let's wrap that video up. Awesome.